Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently working our way through some continuing constructions here, and we're making very good progress on that. What we're not making good progress on is this freedom of conscience. It's not ideal, but hey, our GDP is progressing nicely, so I like to see that. Keep in mind, this is going to be an exponential thing. We're going to hit the curve on that very soon. So that looks good. We're going to get these universities finished, and then the question is, how many more universities are we going to be needing? Well, we're currently at 61.1, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 queued up here. So, a naive view of this, which we're going to take the naive view here. A naive view of this is that we're going to get 2 innovation each. So that's going to be a total of 16 additional innovation, right? And that's going to bring us to 77.4. The actual number is going to be slightly higher than that due to, I believe, economy of scale. Let's double check that economy of scale happens here. It does. We're getting plus 5% due to economy of scale, but minus 5% due to student protests. Okay. So we will get economy of scale changes here, and it'll take a while to get this populated up as well. So I'm thinking maybe we don't build it quite this aggressively. I do want to get some of this resource extraction going, so let's do something kind of like this for now. Keep in mind we are running a pretty decent deficit, so we're going to need to do something about that. But for the moment, I think something like that. So we're going to bring this on up. Perfect. And place that there. Excellent. And then this iron mine could be moved up, and then this one could be placed there, and I think that should be correct. Yes. Okay, so we're going to do this for the moment. Now, this will buy some time for our universities to get populated up, because there's no point in building the levels of this before this gets maxed, right? We're still going to be running into that problem here, but at the very least, it'll be a slightly better situation. It'll have more time for that. So that looks good. We are currently increasing our innovation gains, and that is absolutely wonderful. So our gold reserves are going to run out fairly soon. That's understood. But our balance is in a very, very healthy place right now. So I think economically we're in a pretty healthy position here, and we can just continue to grow our economy. So that'll be wonderful. We're going to get this university finished fairly quickly, and the rest of these universities, they are definitely going to go quickly. Petitioners are approaching the government. Okay, we hit a debate here. Let's give this a sec. So this is Sunni rights movement, huh? We could reduce their activism like that. And then we have anti-clericalism. So this will give us a 10% enactment success chance. This is still very, very incredibly unlikely to pass. But it's theoretically possible. I'm not too concerned about it right now. That's a low priority thing. I just want to keep making rolls on that. So we now have access to a company, and that is, we could establish Persian grains at this moment. And that's the only one that we could do. This would only be 2.7 productivity. Livestock ranches building throughput, huh? Well, we can get it started here. It's not going to be great. 2.7 productivity. Yeah, it's not going to be increasing its prosperity for now. We're probably going to replace this company later on. But for the time being, this'll do. That'll at least give us a slight throughput bonus for a couple of our buildings. It's better than the nothing we had before. So that's fine for now. We're going to get this iron mine completed soon. Why is this not building? Insufficient resource quantity. Okay. Which means that none of these logging camps here can be built. We need to cancel all of those. That's fine. Absolutely A-okay. That brings us down to 4 years in our construction queue. And we'll get back to building that resource extraction a little bit later on. But for now, I want to continue to work our way through this. So we do have increasing literacy, and our innovation cap is currently 88. Noted. So we're working on it. This iron mine in Mazandaran finishing up now, and then next up, of course, is going to be... So as we can see here, we are currently in debt, and the question is, how much debt do we want to run? Well, that kind of depends on privatization. Privatization is probably going to be happening with these coal mines and iron mines that we're currently working on building. So that would be absolutely wonderful. So logging camps in Fars down here, yeah, that's all relatively fine. I don't have a major issue with any of that going on. So that seems okay. At this point, I want to check in on our institutions. So we're going up to law enforcement level 5. Noted. That's 66 weeks away. Okay. And yeah, we're on contested government. It's not ideal, but we're doing that because of our funding. So that's fine for now. So our gold reserves is going to continue to go down. Freedom of conscience, it's not going to happen. We pretty much knew that that was going to be the case. It does not matter. So that's completely and totally okay. At this moment, we just finished up another university here, and my question is, how are we doing on the employment of these? The answer is surprisingly okay. We're doing better than I expected to on the employment of these universities. Okay. And yeah, this is off to the fire with the entire notion then. That's fine. I want to check in on the status of the other law change here. Yeah, total separation. I think I'm going to wait on this. I'm not going to try to enact total separation here. I think we're going to go for freedom of conscience again later. But for now, I think we're just going to hold here because if we don't do any law changes, we get a lot of bonuses to certain things. I want to see how this shakes out economically over the next couple of weeks at least. And yeah, standard of living is not necessarily ideal in all of our positions at this moment. So that is absolutely understood. I certainly want to get through all of these universities being built before we pause our construction. That would be absolutely ideal, but we will see. Okay, so the Persian National Congress here opposes Great Britain. Yeah, we kind of do too. But that's fine. For the moment, I'm completely content being in the British sphere of influence. This is very useful to us because we have access to the British market, which is absolutely a big deal. So we're currently embroiled in this Haitian uprising. It doesn't matter. I don't care about it. We're not going to participate. So that is absolutely wonderful. We're going to have another university finishing here shortly, and our current innovations are at 66.3, so that's definitely looking good. And our law enforcements just went up as well. Cool. We now have a transportation shortage in our capital. I want to take a look at what we've got going on there. Okay. So realistically, what we need here is to just hire more people. How are we doing with the workforce in this location? We still have 73.2k peasants, so that is understood. Okay, so we're finishing up a motor industry here in Merv. That's a very good thing, of course. And wine production in Herat has been particularly good. I'm going to take the building wine output for right now. That'll be fine. Excellent. And how are we doing on our debt at this point? So our balance is at 18.5k. That's going to continue to diminish, but for the moment, I'm fine with this. I want to continue building at this pace for right now. So how are we doing on our technology? We're working on central banking right now, with the idea being that that's going to boost up our minting, which we're currently making 12.3k from. And so let's see here. This will give us access to bankrolling, fund lobbies, mutual funds, but it's that minting and the loan interest rate that I'm actually interested in here. So let's have that happen. That will reduce the amount that we're paying in interest, which will be very, very big for us, and boost our income from minting, which will be extraordinarily big. Our current income from minting, if we check here, we can see our base value. Okay. So this is going to cut our deficit, not entirely, but certainly by a decent chunk. And more as we build up more debt. So that's definitely something to consider going forward. Financial districts are working on expanding steel mills in Urmia. Okay, that seems reasonably fine to me. And yeah, I just want to continue to work our way through all of this construction here. I'm noticing that we've granted foreign investment rights, but they don't appear to be doing much foreign investment at this time. That's definitely interesting. But for the moment, I'm mostly interested in boosting up our innovations and our overall raw economy, but that's going to take some time to really start coming online. But we're focusing primarily on extraction and agriculture at this moment. So there's general staff unlocked. That gives us production methods for our barracks, which we may as well switch to. I don't think there's any reason not to. So let's swap over to general training. And in fact, plus 3.61 from current. Really? I don't know if that's real or not. We'll see. Yeah, it feels about the same. Okay, so no major difference there. I want to check in on these laws and see what they're thinking about total separation. Okay, so 90% currently is opposing to this. Okay. So I'm just taking a look at what we've got here. This'll radicalize the petite bourgeoisie and the rural folk, but it will not radicalize the ulema, which is kind of shocking, actually. Noted. So I want to check in on our government here and see what we could potentially do. So as of right now, the ulema are part of our government. I wouldn't mind removing them from the government. And we would stay a contested government if we did this. So I'm going to have just the landowners in government right now. And then we could think about attempting to enact local separation. However, the ulema will be radicalized from that. We'll have to give them a little bit of time for their current opinion to decay. So their approval is currently happy. They are... Actually, this is not bad. We don't really need that to decay at this moment. Okay. Well, we're at a 91% chance of stall, so I don't think it's worth doing anyway. So for the moment, that seems relatively fine. We're up to minus 20k at this point. You can see our overall balance is plus 15k. So that is absolutely noted. I want to check in on how we're doing on these constructions. Ah, definitely progressing nicely. So this logging camp in Tabriz, can this actually be built? Let's take a look here. It would be up here. Maybe. It can maybe be built. We'll see. I've noticed this happening before. I believe this is a primarily visual bug, but we'll see if that ends up being a thing. So our iron mines in Khorasan are finishing up in about 4 weeks. We've got 2 universities left, our penultimate university in 10 weeks. I want to check in on how we're doing on hiring in for our existing universities. And the answer is, again, surprisingly well. I'm kind of shocked at how well we're doing at hiring into our universities here. Wow, that's a good sign. So at this point, we're generating 71.2 innovations, and that's going to continue to go up. So I really do want to check in over here on that economy of scale at this point. So yeah, we can see this is currently plus 9 due to economy of scale. So that's looking good. We no longer have the student protests going on either, so that's absolutely phenomenal. Our technology growth is going to be starting to get a lot faster, but we're still shy of our innovation cap. There's central banking, which will help our deficit. Yeah, we see that goes down to 18.0k. So we're now getting 13.8k from minting, and our interest has dropped a little bit. So that's understood. I do want to finish up these 2 universities, for sure. We are up to 11 million on our GDP now. Police brutality, huh? The use of force is warranted. Okay. So that looks good for now. We need to continue to work on bringing that up. Now, this number is fake. We should not assume that that's at all real. This is the real number. There we go. So that looks great, and we're now working on this university and this iron mine. Now, logging camps build very quickly. So once we get to this, we're going to get through that very, very swiftly indeed. We've got some coal mines down here and iron mines. Eventually, we're going to need to queue up more things, but for the moment, I'm reasonably fine with this. We're going to want to continue to work on resource extraction. We're going to want to work on some agriculture probably next, though. So I think that's what we're going to do there. But that's 34 months away. So that's absolutely noted. What do we have going on in our economy at this point? I mean, we've still got some standard of living issues. That's understood. So we're going to continue to go here until these universities finish. There's our law enforcement investment up to level 5. So that's perfect. Servicemen become more loyalist, or minus 25% radicals from political movements. We've not really had political movements, so that seems good for the moment. Okay, we're 7 weeks away from our university, and one of these logging camps is going to finish up at the same time. Now, I'm actually going to cancel a bunch of these down to about there, and then I'm going to cancel a bunch of these coal mines as well, and we're going to do something about like that. I want to get all of that canceled for the moment. We will build it, but I'm going to queue it up later. The data that we used to queue those up is very out of date now, so we're just going to run something like this, get these constructions done, and then I'm thinking we maybe construct all the way through this and then pause construction for a little bit to pay off our debt. That might be a decent opportunity to do that. So we'll see what the timing is feeling like for that, but that is definitely something I'm interested in doing. So we're currently building this steel mill with our private construction, and we've got an explosives factory going in. So there's a lot of construction going on, and our GDP is going to be increasing considerably at this point. So that looks great. Checking in on this university, this is currently at its maximal level. So we can assume overall 11 economy of scale, that's going to go up more as this continues to hire in. But this is going to be a slow process. So yeah, you can see here now it's 11%. So that's going to be a slow process. We're at 74.7. We're going to get close, I think, to our innovation cap, but I doubt we're quite going to get over it. We may want to take this up to 15, but I'm going to put that at the end of the list, like this. Okay, so something along the lines of that. Let's get these logging camps finished up. That'll be fine. And I keep hoping that we're going to see some privatization happening, but it doesn't appear to really be a thing as of right now. So it seems like they're not interested in doing that at this moment. That's okay. They don't have to. So I guess minimum expected standard of living for the upper strata is okay. The party can never end. So minus 10% loan interest rate because of the petite bourgeoisie's treasury bonds. That'll be useful for us. That'll cut down our interest a little bit. We're currently at 4.29K weekly in interest, and that's absolutely understood. Okay, so we're going to get these coal mines done soon enough. That's looking great. And we've got this explosives factory starting up. So that seems wonderful. We're currently number 40 in the world, and we're continuing to bring this up. So that looks excellent. And keep in mind, we're sacking our prestige right now. Because if we go into our budget and our government wages, minus 20% prestige just from that. And boosting this up will cause more generation of university jobs, I think, as well as, well, our government administrations are full. Okay, so that looks good for now. We're continuing to grow our university's workforce here. Yeah, that's looking pretty okay. So we're up to 76.6 now, and our innovation cap is continuing to creep upwards. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. What's our current maximum economy of scale? 30. Okay, we've got a ways to go for that. So that seems absolutely fine. So these coal mines are going to be done in a few weeks here. Everything is looking great on that front. And yeah, I think that we're just going to let this queue run out, and then we will pay back our debt, and then we'll queue up probably agricultural, is what I'm thinking. So that'll be fine, and we see an opium plantation going in as I say that. So that seems wonderful. Do we want to try to go to total separation? No. The answer to that is no. I mean, we could try. Do the petite bourgeoisie hate that? They do. That would radicalize them. Okay. So that's pretty significant at this moment. The intelligentsia are the ones that are in favor of that. They're influential at this moment, but they need a lot more political power. So that's fine. The coal mines are going to be finishing up right about now. And the landowners, they have dropped down to 18% clout at this point. So that's very interesting. What's the highest that we can get? It's with the ulema in government. You know what? I think we are better off having this. So I took those loyalists for no reason. The reason why I say that we're better off having this is because now, well, this is still radicalizing the ulema at this point, but that may cause them to come up a little bit. So they have a lot of political power right now, and that comes from state religion. I really would like to get rid of that. We can try freedom of conscience again in 5 weeks, and I think we'll try it. But again, it's not our primary focus at this time. So that is something that we absolutely have to consider. So our construction is still being fully utilized at this point for another couple of weeks, but we are going to see our construction start to trail off very shortly here. So that looks good. We're seeing our GDP steadily increase. That is excellent, and we fully expect that. So everything is looking good on that front. Let's get these coal mines finished up. What political movement was this? Animist rights? Okay. Noted. How's Persian grains doing? I mean, I don't expect them to be doing well. So there is that. Out of curiosity, would any of these have decent productivity? Persian minerals would. We should do that. We can't disband this for a couple more years, though. It's fine. I didn't notice Persian minerals in that list, but we should definitely do Persian minerals or a similar company. That would be a big boon for us. So that's wonderful. We are still maxing out our construction at this moment. But once this iron mine finishes, we no longer will be. So that's going to be a big deal for us. It's going to start to flip around towards that 12K. I'm not sure if we're fully going to eliminate the deficit. I think we'll still run a small deficit until this university finishes. So that is absolutely understood. That shouldn't be a big deal. We'll get this iron mine finished up. Herat is damaging relations. Hilarious. I wish them luck with that. We're going to want to start ramping up our army somewhat soon. No doubt about that, but I'm still mostly focused right now on getting, yeah, still a small deficit here. I'm still mostly focused right now on getting construct. So that'll be fine. We'll finish up this one final university here. As we can see, we're approaching 70K on our unemployment, so that looks good. I want to check here, 81.5. Okay, so a naive view is that this would get us to about 83, 84, somewhere around there. And that's definitely not where we need to be, but it's a huge step in the right direction. We're innovating at almost double the rate that we were previously. So that's wonderful. Not to mention the literacy rate giving us technology spread increases. So that is all looking very, very excellent. We're about to finish up this last university here. The landowners are petitioning the government to pass tenant farmers. No. That's not going to happen. Do we want to have a monument to the Shah? Sure. There we go. Cool. So that looks absolutely fine at this point. And our struggle is clearly an international one. Yes, that'll be fine. So Family Ties is now deactivated. That's understood. And Treasury Bonds is deactivated. That one's unfortunate. I was hoping that wouldn't be the case. However, that university is now done, and we're now making 10.8K, so our interest is going to start declining at this point. That looks fine. Business of legislation, huh? Landowners would lose interest group political strength. Done. That sounds great. So at this point, I want to check in on what these odds are going to be. Yeah, it's probably not going to pass, but I'm going to try it again. We're going to see what ends up happening here. It's probably not going to be great, but we're not constructing at this moment. We're working on paying off our debt. Hopefully we see some privatization happening here. That would be ideal because we are very, very interested in getting this debt paid off quickly. So that mostly means that we're fishing for privatization. To that end, I want to make sure that all of these are set to be able to be privatized. Sugar plantations, we don't have a tobacco plantation. This would be the arms industries, which apparently we only have in Arabistan. Okay, that makes sense. Explosives factories, we should have this be on the ammonia soda process, and then that can be privatized. Beyond that, everything else looks decent here. I mean, yeah, everything else looks pretty decent here. Excellent. So we're going to look to definitely pay down this debt, but the next thing that we want to start constructing is probably going to be some opium plantation. Unfortunately for us, we're going to need to ban slavery at some point, and we don't really have a good way to do that at this moment. This definitely needs to happen. Moving up to here would be incredible. Only the landowners hates it. So what we really need to do is we need to boost the power of the intelligentsia, and that would be something we'd be very, very interested in doing. No doubt about that. So how do we actually do anything with these guys in this current version of the game? It definitely has been changed, so I'll probably look into that somewhat in the next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. We stalled right away over here. We have to take the setback, but okay, we'll give it a go. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Andy McGard, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.